Mississauga streets film to come up.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. When I look around and see the community involvement, and I see the business community and the professionals come together, that these things become a reality. There's nothing more important than health, and I will not dwell on this point, but I will tell you that I did come here last year as a candidate, and this time as a member of parliament. And Andre knows me well, and I think some of my other friends are going to get to know me real quick. But I assure you that I will work with Mr. Mark, whether it is fundraising or donations for any situations, any hospital in this city of Mississauga, because it's so important. We have a tremendous mayor and we've got a great community here, and I make a commitment that their fundraising will be a success. Last year we did get involved with a very new young community. We donated $50,000 to the hospital. This year the target is $100,000 for Trillium, but we will not forget Trinity Valley as well. So next time when I come here, Andre will give you the good news. There was Phoenix Ball coming up in October. But I want to tell you that this particular community is absolutely marvelous. You cannot put in words that you're the lead community, not just in Mississauga, not just for your community, for this province and this country. I congratulate you. Thank you very much, and I'm delighted to be here as your representative and friend. Thank you.
Might not be the cheapest, but you know what? It's for the well-being of the city. In fact, you can put a page on the admission form in front of you to help out to get awareness of everybody. And perhaps stop delaying our MVP. Maybe you can be the first one to sign on this petition and then relay the message back to the Minister of Health. Because our seniors deserve more than that. Our seniors devoted their lifetime building this country, building this province, building this community. So if you can help out, sign up, all those petitions, you can take some blank forms, go back and sign, get some friends to sign up and take it to the pharmacy. The local pharmacy can allow us to help out. Make it impossible to do so what? Let's just keep funding the Ministry of Health, all the citizens. Because this is important. It's important for the well-being of us and of the seniors. And lastly, I would like to say over and over again, any one of you here sharing or getting on this health-changing information, and if one day it can save your life, it can save the life of your friends around you, that's what God has done what you've done here. That's what this council meeting has been about. Thank you very much.
Because the number of volunteers it takes to put this event on is incredible. I want to pay particular homage to our three co-chairs, Audrey Nicole, and of course Teresa DeLuca, our very own Teresa DeLuca, of whom I am so proud. She's worked so hard, and this week she was a recipient of a volunteer award from the Volunteer Center of Skill, and very, very deserving. Congratulations, Teresa. We love you. Thank you. And although we have two of the finest hospitals anywhere in Ontario, right here in our community, and Credit Valley, with its new Carlo Padani Cancer Center, right here, right now, so that people don't have to go to Toronto for cancer treatment. And it's just incredible that we're having this right in our own community. And I urge you all to give. We've got matching money coming in. If we all give and reach the amount, I think we're very close. So reach into your wallets, give everything you can. Norma Banner is right there to take your checks. So don't worry about anything. Just give, and we can continue building the greatest hospital that we can have in our community. And make no mistake about it, this event is the brainstorm of the CPB. They are incredible. With leadership from Andre Mark and Dr. Wong, they have taken a lead role in our community and deserve to be congratulated in every way. With the CPB, there's nothing but action. They do so much, it's just, I don't understand how they get it all done. It's fantastic. It really, really is. So we're proud to be your partners today, and we're also proud to be affiliated with Credit Valley Hospital, of course. And as we know, health is the number one issue in society today. We're all getting older. We're also aware of health and what it means to all of us. We all want to live longer. We all want to do better. And this Expo today fits right into the community's needs. And for that reason alone, CPB deserves to be congratulated once again. They're phenomenal. Thank you very much. And everybody enjoy the show and give money to Credit Valley because they need it. Thank you.
The Credit Valley Hospital Foundation is using a word for our petition.
Thank you and good morning. I'm delighted to talk to you a little bit about Credit Valley, who is a recipient charity today for the donations that come in. I particularly want to salute Andre and Audrey and Teresa because planning this kind of an event takes a long time. They're very good at it now. We're in a repeat year and it's an excellent occasion for everybody in the community. I want to talk just momentarily about regional care and what that means because not everyone is aware that Credit Valley serves close to 2 million people. Our hospital, in its regional programs, which are oncology, genetics, maternal child health, and dialysis. I needed a little help with that. We serve people in Halton, Peel, and in Dufferin, Wellington, and Simcoe, and Etobicoke. And And so that means that anyone suffering from those diseases will be treated at Credit Valley Regional Program. And for acute care needs, we are a community hospital taking care of our local neighborhood. And that distinction is important because you must realize that it means we'll serve close to 2 million people when all of our new facilities are completed. The current expansion is a $300 million program. It will include the Carlo Faniani Peel Regional Cancer Center, as well as a new outpatient or ambulatory care center. With that, we need to raise an awful lot of money. The community portion is $50 million, and the amount that Ron and Andre mentioned a few minutes ago when they referred to a challenge means a matching grant coming from the Kresge Foundation in the United States. And it's a very strong recognition of the excellence of our programs when you realize that when we raise $4 million and we have only a few weeks left in this challenge, Kresge will flow $1 million to us. So we urge everybody in the community to contribute to that so that we can be successful and trigger the release of yet another $1 million. The $50 million campaign is currently at $41 million, thanks to this community. But why Credit Valley, and why are we able to raise so much money? And I suggest to you that it's because of excellence, and it's because we do have a world-class facility right here in our own community. And those of you who have ever dealt with people critically ill with any of the major diseases will know that there is probably nothing more trying than going downtown and sitting in traffic and coming home sick and trying to care for a family at the same time. So care closer to home is the key to what everyone in Mississauga deserves, and I applaud you for contributing to this campaign and helping make our program a reality and a success. We have world-class physicians, we have world-class volunteers, among them being the leaders of the CPPB, who have supported our hospital since it opened in 1985. Now, Bob Delaney is here today, and he is circulating with a petition which is going to encourage the next phase of Credit Valley's growth, which is to care for the 5,500 babies who are going to be born in the next few years at Credit Valley Hospital. We have been designated as a regional maternal child center. We are delivering babies every 2 hours, every day, every night, and every year. And all the babies don't drop every 2 hours. I want you to know it's a non-stop where we have 10 and 20 at a time. We have 3 delivery rooms. We must have our regional maternal child program. And Bob's petition today is asking you to sign that to influence the government's decision to put us on that priority list, which they're going to release next week or next month in terms of what the capital projects will be. We're ready to raise the money for the Maternal Child Health Center. We're pretty soon going to complete the Cancer Center. Please help us. And you can do that by finding Nicole Lamont, who is one of our professional fundraisers on staff at the foundation. She is womaning a booth down at the end opposite the coffee shop and outside Emerson Hall. And Nicole will happily accept your donations. So I thank you sincerely for listening. I thank you for supporting the Chinese Business and Professional Association, and I welcome you all to this event. Let's make Credit Valley the best possible.
Good morning, everybody. It's not raining inside, and this is the healthiest place to be in the city of Mississauga. I want to join with everybody in acknowledging the great effort put forth yet again by Teresa and by Audrey. This show gets bigger and bigger every year. It's first class. It's a professionally run operation, and you two deserve all the credit that you get for it. I also want to mention Dr. Wong, of course, and Andre. What a continuing great job you do on our behalf collectively. People have asked me, about forming a group for their particular community, and I say, if you really want to know how to run a great organization, go and see CPB and just do everything that they do. The city of Mississauga, with our population of about 680,000, we're about nearly the size of the entire province of New Brunswick. And look at some of the things that we've managed to do in this city with a population similar to, for example, Winnipeg. When we talk about our great mayor, we don't think of her as somebody distant. We all know her because we've met her, and we think of her as Hazel. And when we talk about our community newspaper, we don't think of the publisher as somebody who lives in an ivory tower. Do you live in an ivory tower?
No, not at all.
Ron says he doesn't live in an ivory tower. But we happen to know the publisher of our paper. We know him by his first name. We call him Ron. And when we talk to our city councilors and to our elected representatives, we know them by their first names. That's how to make a great city. That's some of the things that this community does, and does particularly well. I want to thank Norma for acknowledging the effort that all of us at Queen's Park have been putting forth to try to get some more progress on capital improvements at Credit Valley. On the 5th of May, 5505, and hopefully not at 5 in the morning, we'll be opening the new cancer care clinic at Credit Valley, the Carlo Fidani Center. And they did a fantastic job at raising the funds for it, and the Government of Ontario, both the one that I'm a part of, and I have to be fair and acknowledge the previous government under whose watch the project got started. That's something that we need in this community. And another thing that we need in this community is A&H Block at Credit Valley. Norma is right. They've raised $41 out of $50 million for it. And there's not a day that goes by in the legislature that I don't stand up and read a petition urging our government to get on with the job and to help get the shovel in the ground and get A&H Block built at Credit Valley. Those are things that we need. That's some of the stuff that I'm working hard for. And I thank everybody for the help that I've had on it day in and day out, and especially CPB. I've had a chance to go to your board meetings. You guys are great. All the praise that you received, it's not enough. You're doing an outstanding job. Keep at it. You're a credit to the community. We're proud of you, and I look forward to continuing to help get Credit Valley A&H Block built sooner rather than later. Thank you.
Good morning. Welcome, everybody. On behalf of Mississauga Board of Friends Professional Businesses, we welcome you to the 5th Healthy Living Expo. This is our 5th time, consecutive years, to hold this special event. We're very proud to have two co-organizers, the Mississauga News and the Credit Valley Hospital. Thank you very much for your support. There's no secret, the population is aging. And since the baby boomers is growing fast and the great new demand for health and wellness services. So we have this vision 5 years ago, and we carry on, and that's what we are now, holding it even bigger and better this year. The Credit Valley Hospital will provide us 4 keynote speakers at the Hamilton Hall today, and we have 17 other prominent speakers from different organizations such as the Heart and Stroke Foundation, the Trillium Health Center, the Kidney Foundation, and many others. So please take a look at the posters and the insert newspaper to find out all the speakers. Besides listening to seminars, we do have other seminars which you can participate, such as physical fitness, Pilates, and Tai Chi. As you can see in the gallery and atrium, we have over 50 exhibitors for you to enjoy. They showcase their product and services. So please take your time to go around, and you can also get free massage, free blood pressure test, body fat measurement, and a body posture test. They're all free, and also free samples and coupons that you can pick up too. Now I'd like to take this opportunity to thank a very special person from CBB, which is our Executive Officer, Irene Zay. She put in lots of time to organize this event, to make it Lamont from Red Valley Foundation and Teresa DeLuca from Mississauga News. They put in lots of time and effort to put this event a success. And most of our volunteers. We have our director, Matthew Lam. He backed up all the project we have. He's a great man. And also we have lots of organizers. We have Judy, we have Cindy, Winnie Tong, and everybody. Thanks very much for your help and Chuck. Coming out of it, as we said that, you can ask the professionals everything you always want to ask, but you're scared to ask. This is the right time to do so. Thank you and enjoy your day.
And thank you for joining us here today. I'd like to say that it's an honor to have been selected as the co-chair of this event. For the past 10 months, I've had the pleasure of working with the Mississauga Board of China's Professionals in Business Chair Nicole Lamont of the Credit Valley Hospital Foundation, as well as a dedicated committee to create this event. The Mississauga News and the Mississauga Board of Chinese Professionals and Businesses is a shining example of community working together to promote healthy living in our city. So I urge you to take advantage of the wealth of knowledge and advice that's available here today through our exhibitors and our speakers, and enjoy your day. Thank you very much.
Credit Valley Hospital Foundation.
Work alongside Irene Chang and Teresa DeLuca from the Mississauga News, Ken Liu and Dr. Stephen Ho, and Irene Say. I want to thank the CPB for their commitment to healthcare in the Peel region and to wish you all a wonderful day. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Norma?
Thank you.
Put your hand on the X. Put your hand on the X so that everybody likes to see that. Isn't that special?
All right. Okay, smile.
Living Arts Center in Mississauga. A variety of speakers on hand today and lecturers to enhance a healthy lifestyle. So let's go visit some of the booths and explore the Healthy Living Expo at the Living Arts Center. Hi, I'm at a special booth here for asthma care, and I'm with Anna McPherson, and Anna is with the Credit Valley Hospital. She's a certified asthma educator. How are you doing, Anna? That's great. Tell us a little bit about asthma. Now, we're in the season where there's a lot of pollutants out there, allergens, especially in the spring season when you get things growing. Is asthma really a growing thing? Tell us the most problems you see lately.
Right now we're seeing about 1 in 8 kids that are diagnosed with asthma.
1 in 8 kids?
1 in 8 kids, yeah. And it's one of the major causes for absenteeism. And at Credit Valley Hospital, that's where I'm from, we have asthma is the number 1 ER visit. So we're just trying to improve that with the way the ER is very crowded. So we're trying to improve some of the chronic diseases that we can manage them from outside the ER and start with primary care physicians. So we're trying to bring out asthma education to the family doctors' offices.
Yes, asthma education is very important. In society today, we have a variety of things that can cause pollution, and these things also impact on asthma. We've got pets, we've got dust, molds, and chemicals in the air, and all kinds of things. And yes, go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
That's great.
And just recently, if you have noticed, it was such a nice day this last weekend.
Yes.
And unfortunately, the pollution index was also pretty bad. So those are the days that you have to watch anybody with respiratory diseases that they should be staying home or at least staying in well-ventilated areas.
I went to Lake Ontario. I was walking down by the lake early April, and you don't expect to see all that pollution. Basically, the ground's smog on the line. That's very unusual. So these students really use that work. Tell us what you have here.
What I have here is an actual model of your air tubes. These are the bronchial air tubes. Normally, what happens is we get the inside line. It's almost like the inside line of your mouth. You look at it. When you get exposed to a trigger, what happens is you've got the bronchospasm happening as well as the swelling inside the air tube. So you need to specific medication, bronchodilator, which relax the muscles, as well as anti-inflammatory steroid. So this is not the same steroid that you get with the athletes. That's right, inhale steroid to get rid of the swelling as well as the
And you see sometimes people who are taking asthma medication, they have a puffer.
That's right.
And then some people use like a long tube.
A long tube. It's actually a holding tube. It's an arrow chamber.
Narrow chamber, yes.
Those are a holding tube. What happens is if some patients that are not coordinated, well coordinated, they would use that arrow chamber. You would put in the medication, you would press it, and then inhale when you're able to.
Now, there are a lot of people out there who are very sensitive to chemicals, especially perfumes, hairsprays like myself, and tobacco, things of that nature. Multiple chemical sensitivities are really an impact on community health today, especially for families. What are some of the treatments available?
Well, for those things, what we usually do is we tell the patient to avoid these triggers.
Right.
So anything, what we tell them in the asthma center is anything that you can breathe in, anything that has a scent to it, could trigger the airways to go into bronchospasm as well as swell up.
And there's a variety of signs and symptoms when people feel that they're having an asthma episode, and they can be brought on by a variety of triggers. And what are some of those triggers?
Like you mentioned before, air pollution, your nice crackling house,
Yes.
dust and dust mites that live inside the beddings, in the pillows and in the mattresses. They say that if your mattress or your pillows is about 5 years old, 55% of its weight is usually asthma. So beware of those things.
So signs and symptoms, a person may feel heaviness in the chest, the air sacs,
that
And they may cold weather can actually come out too.
that's right, cold weather. Actually, any changes in temperature also cause. So any change from hot to humid weather to cold dry air would bring on these symptoms. As you mentioned before, some of the symptoms is the coughing due to the mucus irritation.
That's right.
And there's also the wheezing, that noisy breathing that you hear with, especially with the little kids from 5 years old and younger.
And I think it's very important to point out also, there's a lot of parents out there who do smoke, and they sometimes don't realize the impacts of that on their children. They're in the car, so really parents really have to take initiative and care not to smoke around children, especially with asthma.
Especially the secondhand smoke is one of the reasons, because there's about 4,000 chemicals that release at that point.
Yes. All things like toluene and DDT and ammonia and all these other types of wonderful chemicals that go along with cigarettes. Yes. Now, how many people do you see at the Credit Valley Asthma Clinic?
You see about anywhere from 40 to 45.
Yes. So where do people...
These are just being diagnosed. These are the ones that are being tackled in years. They don't know what the room is.
Thank you for joining us.
Okay.
Nice to meet you. And why not call the Credit Valley Hospital? It's good to get a referral from a doctor, but if you want more information on their asthma clinic, call 905-813-2712. Now let's move on to the next segment. Hi, we're at the New York Hypnotherapy booth, an interesting concept here related to health. And I'm with Simpan Grasic. How are you today?
Good, thank you. Yeah.
Nice to talk to you. And hypnotherapy. A lot of people don't realize the hypnosis, the therapeutic effects, what that's useful for in terms of overall health. Can you explain that?
Sure. Hypnosis can be used for a variety of different things. Some of the more commonly known things are for habits like stop smoking, lose weight, but I deal with a lot of more serious issues such as panic attacks, anxiety attacks. I myself used hypnosis when I gave birth. So it's very, very powerful for controlling pain. And I had a lady come in last week and she had back pain, and we'd done a session, and after the session, her back pain was completely gone. And sometimes pain comes up for psychosomatic reasons based on trauma or things in the past. And hypnosis, because it accesses the subconscious mind, we can find out the root of the problem. And once that surfaces to the consciousness, then the person with a symptom usually goes away symptom-free.
Now, there's a lot of people that experience something called post-traumatic stress disorder, where they've seen or experienced a shocking event, emotional trauma, perhaps maybe a crime, a fire accident, or maybe as terrorism, even something like that. And they experience this, and they come up with a bunch of signs and symptoms, and they really experience that trauma in terms of stress. Is hypnotherapy useful for that?
Yes, actually, I think after World War II or something, they had used hypnotherapy for the shell shock victims.
Shell shock, yes.
Yeah. And what that is the trauma has been imprinted in the subconscious mind, and they're reliving the trauma every day in dreams, in their daily life. And using hypnosis, we'll go back and relive the events. And some of the events are still repressed. And so again, we're just bringing it to consciousness and then giving them coping skills to deal with it. And hypnosis is wonderfully effective for that kind of stuff.
And a lot of people will repress those feelings and look at like little triggers and bring out it in their attitudes and behavior. So hypnosis will help to bring out those
That's
concepts.
right. Yeah, and the unconscious mind is marvelous in that it won't bring out anything that you're not ready to deal with. So I know a lot of people come into my office and we might do an age regression where we might go back to an earlier time in childhood, and I'll ask them to remember something that might have caused the problem, and they won't say anything. Yeah, so it just validates how your unconscious mind is always protecting you, and hypnosis can't make you do anything that you don't want to do.
I was on a cruise ship once, and they had a hypnotist on there, and he had this big entertainment section, and they had a whole show on the cruise ship. And he did have people doing things they didn't want to do, like some people were walking around the stage after, barking like chickens and things like that. And is that really the concept? How does it work? Somebody goes to your clinic, and what is the procedure?
Okay, well, stage shows are different from therapeutic shows. On stage, the person that the hypnotist will ask is, do you want to have fun?
Yeah.
And only the people who want to have fun will go up and volunteer. And the reason they want to be up there doing silly things is because that's part of their personality, and on some level they want to be up there having fun. Whereas on a therapeutic level, people come into the office and they're tried every other avenue, and nothing else works. So they go to hypnosis as a last dire attempt. And usually, because they're coming with motivation and they want to change so bad, hypnosis works and helps them remove their symptoms.
I think that a key concept is it true that they really have to want to have that? They really want to change. They have to be motivated to change. Otherwise, it won't work. Is that true?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah. There's no point. Otherwise, you're wasting your money.
Now, there's two things that I'm familiar with that hypnosis is used for. One of them is weight loss. The other is smoking. Smoking is probably the most popular, right?
It is very popular, but again, I don't know why I seem to attract the really serious cases. I consider smoking and weight loss very topical issues, habit control, and that's fairly quickly easy to change. But I'm dealing with a lot of trauma and abuse and panic attacks and pain, some of the more advanced stuff that hypnosis can help with. And even with things like cancer and heart attacks, people who suffer those kind of things, they're in stress and they're in trauma, so they do need some kind of support and to start believing in their inner power to heal themselves. And that's where the hypnosis comes in. It gives them empowerment to believe in themselves and use their own mind to create resources for change.
So someone comes into the office and they sit down and they have a little chat with you. How is the treatment initiated?
First, I take a very detailed client history, and that takes about 45 minutes, sometimes longer if it's an abuse case. And then I teach them about what hypnosis is, and then I do an orientation trance so that they can become familiar with what it feels like, and they know it's safe and it's relaxing. And usually the second session is when I do the therapeutic work.
Therapeutic work. And how long does it take for somebody, like, let's per se, an individual trying to experience relief from the symptoms of smoking?
Smoking usually takes one session.
Really?
Yeah, one session.
That's very quick.
Although some people may not want to quit right away, they have their reasons, and so we might set up a target date. So it might take up to 2 or 3 or 4 sessions. I work individually with the clients.
Wow, individually on a basis.
Yeah.
And there's some stories out there that law enforcement people, security people, use this hypnotherapy to maybe remember incidents that may have passed. Are you related to that also?
Forensic hypnosis, it's called. Mike Mandel, it's great.
Mike Mandel, yeah.
Mike Mandel, he's on the force. There's still a lot of research that needs to be done on that part. Hypnosis does allow you to bring up memories, because everything is stored in your mind.
Yes.
But unfortunately, we're still not at the point where we can say 100% whatever is brought up from the mind is 100% accurate. So right now, it's still a developing field.
Right. But hypnotherapy, of course, is a very unique field of hypnosis, the therapeutic approach. And how does somebody get involved with that in terms of training?
Well, you can get trained downtown. There's a few centers that offer training, and you need 100 hours, and you can get certified. But I'm trained in the States just because they've been practicing it on a medical level for about 48 years, since 1958. And some of their techniques are much more advanced. But it's fairly easy to get trained, but it takes a lot of practice to really, because every person comes in as a unique individual. And so when you go and choose a hypnotist, you don't want someone who will read a script to you. You know, you want someone who is watching you and seeing the tiny movements and the changes that are happening to you and customizing those sessions to you. And that's what I do. And some of my advanced training teaches me how to customize every session to the individual person.
Yes. Now, you hear a lot of people who have phobias or fears, and these involve maybe somebody who doesn't want to go into an elevator or something like that. Somebody who maybe is a fear of things like spiders per se, and a variety of other things, or things that can happen in context or something. So how do you really change the behaviors of somebody to not subconsciously think of those things to be the triggers? How do you do that?
Well, triggers, basically. Using neuro-linguistic programming, which is
NLP,
which is based on hypnosis. It was based on a very famous doctor who did hypnosis, and we identify the triggers, and then we program new anchors that when the triggers are programmed, all of a sudden you're associating positive things with what was once fearful. And that happens right away. I had a client come in 2 weeks ago, and he was afraid of, he has sleep apnea. And he was afraid to put on that mask at night because he felt he was going to suffocate. Yeah, claustrophobic, yeah. And we did a couple of sessions. The second session we did try to do age regression, and then we also did some NLP. The next time he came back, he said I was wearing the mask and there was no problem whatsoever. It's very fast in terms of helping people overcome fears and phobias.
That's great. Well, thank you for joining us today, Sib.
Thank you very much.
Why not go online to the www.thenewU.ca. You can get more information on hypnotherapy and hypnosis for a variety of medical conditions. We'll go on to the next segment now.
What time is Paul coming in?
I'm speaking to Dr. Kim Gunther, and we're going to discuss homeopathy. Homeopathy is a very unique aspect of natural medicine. Can you tell us how it all came about, homeopathy, the concept behind it, where it all started?
Homeopathy started with Samuel Hahnemann, and he was a doctor in Germany, and he found that taking substances that would make you sick, for example, coffee. If you take coffee in a high dose, you end up being very hyper and awake. If you take very small, minute doses of coffee, it helps you sleep and relax.
Well, I can tell you in the morning, I like large doses of coffee. It helps me wake up, and it helps me wake up. So it's based also, I should say I did recently a homeopathy course. I'm very interested in the concepts of that, the law of symbolism.
Yes.
And Dr. Samuel Hahnemann, when he came up with this, introducing minute substances into the body that the body would normally be affected by.
Yes.
And what's the result?
Well, the result is the body will bring up, it'll trigger the immune system so that the body actually fights these substances, and any relative or conditions you have that are, I guess, yes, that are relevant will be fought off by the body, and the body ends up healing itself. So it actually, in essence, will help to strengthen your immune system.
So you're actually introducing things into the body which normally would affect you in order to kind of build up an immune response.
Yes, exactly.
Like, for instance, a few years ago I was having some pollen problems, and I introduced some pollen into my system. It seemed to help with my allergy symptoms. Yes, absolutely. Now, how many types of homeopathy remedies are there?
Oh, hundreds.
Hundreds.
Hundreds, and there's always new ones being discovered.
Right. And as far as this time of year, we've got seasonal allergies. A fun thing that happens, everybody's sneezing, walking around, and we've got pollen and trees and all these things. And in the fall, we've got hay fever. What's the treatment that you use, Dr. Gunther, for that?
Well, again, you would use small, minute substances. Pollen, ragweed, you would take it probably 4 or 5 weeks in advance to the season starting. And then you would start taking those remedies, and once the season came, you'd find that your symptoms are far less than otherwise.
Yes. And of course, all year round, you can have allergens which can affect you indoors, outdoors. In fact, there's reports that say that sometimes indoors are more polluted than outdoors.
Yes, that's true.
Chemicals and things like that.
Yes.
Now, what are the aspects of colds and flus? You hear so much about flus and flu pandemics. Can homeopathy help a person?
They can, yes. Again, the strengthening of the immune system would help to fight off the cold, and you could take this in the fall season would be the best time, just to help the immune system get a boost and help you through the winter.
Now, a couple of weeks ago, I had to go to some dental surgery. Ouch, I didn't like it too much. And I thought, well, when I get out, I'm going to not necessarily out of the doctor's office, the dentist. I'm not necessarily going to have to take all these painkillers because I don't want to. So I decided to go to get a homeopathic treatment, and I received some arnica. Now, what are the benefits of arnica?
Arnica, again, increases your immune system, and it will fight off bruising. Arnica, if you take it internally, will cause your blood to thin and to bruise.
Right.
So that when you take the arnica in the very small doses, it actually helps you heal and keeps the swelling down and helps with pain reduction too.
And it's very useful for muscle aches and sports injuries per se?
Yes, exactly.
Now, I went and got the remedy, and I noticed with most homeopathic remedies, there's these little globules in a little tiny vial. And then the substance is introduced into those little tiny globules, right?
Yes.
And how much is used?
The vial generally holds 80 globules in it, and you would take a dose of 4 globules.
And they're very tiny.
Very, very small, yes.
And And I think as a carrier, little sugar globules are used.
Yes,
Is that right?
yes. Very pleasant, easy to take.
And the results are very quick. So if somebody has trauma to the body, how long would it take? Let's say if somebody's strained a muscle or something, how long would it take for the arnica to take?
Again, it would depend entirely on the person and how they react to the arnica, but it could take anywhere from 15 minutes to a couple of hours.
That's great. So the Homeopathic College is in downtown Toronto. Is that where you studied?
No, it's not.
Okay.
But it's an excellent college.
Oh, great. Okay. So there's a lot of great aspects of homeopathy, an interesting aspect of natural medicine. Some people prefer it over the traditional aspects of relief, and homeopathy is very useful. The law of similars, and that's what Dr. Hanman was trying to do when he introduced us. Yes. So where can we reach you?
You can reach me right here. I'm in Mississauga, and I have my telephone number 416-560-0785 or 905-568-4444.
Thank you, Dr. Gunther.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
Thank you. Nice to meet you. And now we'll move on to our next segment here at the Healthy Living Expo at the Living Arts Center.
Mississauga. And you put in water system, you got $200 discount. So you just give her name and number, doesn't matter.
Yes. So, because I don't know what number I will have now. I'm moving it somewhere.
More weight on your left side. About 5 pounds, not too bad. Not too bad. Changing out.
Roger Steve, could you vote in?
We are at the Canadian Diabetes Association York Region booth, and I'm with Tricia Pang, and she is the Public Programs and Services Coordinator, Canadian Diabetes Association. Hi, Trish. Tricia, how are you? Now, as the booth says, get serious about diabetes, and people really have to. It is an epidemic in our society. The high sugar contents, the highly refined, simple sugars are equal, too many carbohydrates, fats, saturated fats. These are all contributors to diabetes, right?
Definitely.
Right. Now tell us a little bit about the services. What services do you offer the Canadian Diabetes Association in terms of education?
Education, we always go out to the community. Businesses, we can do lunch and learns with businesses.
Lunch and learns.
That's right. As soon as you have about 20 people,
Yes.
we can come out and educate you about diabetes.
Okay.
And that's really important because type 2 diabetes is really preventable.
Right.
And we really want to get a message out there. And even if you already have diabetes, you can prevent the complications of diabetes, which is important too, which is why we're at the fair today.
Yeah, specifically people who are pre-diabetic, people who are maybe on the verge of perhaps getting warning signals, and next thing you know, they're become diabetic. Yeah.
That's right. A lot of them fall into the high-risk group category. And Toronto is unique in the sense that we have a lot of immigrants who happen to come from high-risk groups like South Asians. They're all high-risk group for diabetes. So we really want to reach out to communities in Toronto.
Yes. And you get a lot of services, referrals from doctors and diabetes clinics, right?
That's right.
Yes.
For somebody who's newly diagnosed, we would recommend for them to go to a diabetes education clinic to get their resources, to see a diabetes educator, to meet with a dietitian, to create a meal plan suitable for themselves.
Now, years ago, and it's no secret, I tell it on the show, that I became a diabetic at type 2 or adult onset. And I went to see a diabetes educator, and I had these wonderful classes in Halton. And it was really an eye-opener for me years ago because it really taught me the appropriate way to do things, to monitor your weight, your blood sugars, all those things.
That's right. There's a lot of programs out there, like things like grocery shop, how to read labels. The Canadian Diabetes Association constantly have events like that. So if you do have one in the community, do go out, and most of the time it's free for the public. Learn how to read labels and understand what you're eating. It really makes a difference. Physical activity and nutrition. Proper nutrition really makes a difference.
Physical activity and diabetes. You know, we're in a society now in North America where people refuse to do any exercise, it seems. So we're here in the Living Arts Center, and not too far from here is the Square One Mall. And in that mall, you see parking spots. And people want to get those 2 spots right by the door.
Right.
I mean, if they had a chance, they'd drive right into the mall.
That's right.
They don't want to get any exercise at all.
That's what I was saying, that they should have a sign for people with diabetes and put it right at the end of the parking lot.
That's right.
That's right.
I personally don't mind walking that extra 30, 40 yards and getting exercise because I drive every day. So you have a variety of informations available here. And I see you've got some tubes in your hand.
Yeah, my magic wand.
Your magic wand.
Yeah, this is to illustrate somebody with no problem with their glucose level, maintaining it really well. It should flow very fluidly.
So you have a tube simulating glucose blood.
Yeah, simulating.
Simulated.
Simulating.
And you see the sugar is flowing through.
Really fluidly, yeah.
And it's metabolized properly, and it's not sticking to the cells.
That's right.
Yeah.
For somebody who's not managing their glucose level well enough, this is what happens. It's almost like making sugar water.
Yes.
The more sugar there is, the thicker it is. So it clogs up, which is what's causing all the complications like diabetic retinopathy, kidney problems, losing sensation.
Macular degeneration.
That's right, and heart disease.
Yes.
So these are the different complications that's really affecting people who have diabetes if it's not managed well enough.
In diabetics, I was reading CDA information, and it's 2 to 4 times more likely to have a cardiovascular event than non-diabetics.
That's right. And 28% of the new kidney patients have diabetes. They're there needing dialysis because of their diabetes.
Right. And when you start to get into problems like that, where you need dialysis, kidney failure can't be too far off, and transplants. So really, people have to prevent these problems before they occur. Yes. So you have the tubes. Yes, you have the tubes. And if we could just show the sugar one up there again. If we could just show the sugar one, the red one.
Yeah, this is some of the sugar facts.
Yeah, okay.
This is how much sugar in fruit punch.
Yes.
A 12-ounce fruit punch. This is how much sugar.
So we have this one here. This is fruit punch. Now, if you can imagine all the fruit juices that are out there and the children are drinking now, they may think they're healthy, but they're loaded with sugar, and sometimes more than one type of sugar.
So just remember to choose the one that's 100% fruit juice.
That's right.
That's why learning how to read labels is important for parents, especially, just to get educated. Half a cup of ice cream.
Now, how much is that sugar is that in there? That says how much?
19 grams of sugar in half a cup of ice cream.
Half a cup of ice cream, 19 grams of sugar.
Yeah.
Now, what about chocolate?
Milk.
Milk chocolate.
Milk chocolate candy bar, 22 grams of sugar in them.
So what happens is you get people eating all these sweet things, and they have cravings for them, and their sugar level goes up right away. And then after a while, it crashes, and they start to feel weak, so they think they have to eat more sugar, and that's not the way to go. They should be eating healthier.
Or sometimes people feel, oh, I'm really thirsty. They go grab a Coke.
Yeah.
Drink it. It's not. That's why a lot of teenagers are getting type 2 diabetes now. It's a growing epidemic.
So nutrition really plays a role in that. People are reaching for sugary things. Obviously, you need to get energy from different sources, not from sugar, and not excesses of sugars. And that's another important thing. So nutrition is prime thing. So tell us a little bit about the nutrition program and education.
Nutrition? We will really encourage them to go see a registered dietitian.
Yes.
And just learn as much as they can about healthy eating. Things like programs like the Diabetes Symposium that
Let's
we
hold that up
organize.
for the camera so we can get that for our viewers.
Yeah, actually I do.
They have Diabetes Symposium information, and they've got one here, the Premier Convention Center in Richmond Hill, on Wednesday, May 11th from 6 to 9 p.m.
That's right.
Yes.
To learn things like the role of the glycemic index in the management and prevention of diabetes, Dr. Wolliver is going to talk about what type of food you eat, how you cook it is going to affect how your body absorbs the food. So something like that is really important to understand.
Yes, it is.
You know, eating bread is bread, right, for some people, but choosing a whole wheat bread as compared to choosing a white bread, it makes differences in your body, how your body absorbs it. It's all different.
White
so
bread.
You need to understand that.
Eat a lot of white bread, it turns into glycogen and sugar, and then your sugar level goes up. You want to pick foods that are low in the glycemic index. That's ideal, yes.
Yeah. And also everything in moderation. That's
everything in moderation.
Yeah.
I have trouble remembering that sometimes. Everything in moderation.
Moderation, yeah.
Yes.
That's the key.
Now you have some saturated fat information over there. If you could hold those up for our listeners, our viewers.
Yeah.
So we have one here that says double cheeseburger, and that's a double cheeseburger, and it says 37 grams of fat, 150 milligrams of cholesterol. And this is not beneficial cholesterol. This is LDL, and 660 calories. So you see, if you eat this every day, see how solid that is, the saturated fats. This is what builds in your arteries, and it's a complication for diabetics, is it not?
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
For sure. A lot of
High cholesterol is one of the one of those risk factors of diabetes too.
Right.
And that's also one of the main reasons why a lot of people are getting type 2 diabetes. That's because of weight issues.
That's right.
So if you are at risk, try to bring your weight down a little bit. They say those people with the apple shape tend to have a higher risk of getting diabetes. So we want to aim to get into a pear shape type of figure.
A pear shape, yes.
A pear shape and not an apple.
Now let's look at the pizza one there.
It's a pepperoni pizza.
Okay.
It looks like it's less, but we also have, this is talking about the fat content. So we also want to look at the salt content.
Salt, sodium.
Because high blood pressure is also a main issue, one of the risk factors for diabetes. So sodium is going to put a higher risk.
Now there are some healthier pizzas out there, gourmet pizzas, which are a little bit better. You can whole wheat crust and things like that.
Yeah.
So it might not be 9% fat, it might be a lot
You
lower.
just need to learn how to read the labels, understand what you're eating, and the rule of thumb is if it's too convenient, read it and then find out why is it so convenient. Maybe there's some chemicals in there that allows it for a longer shelf life.
Yes.
Yeah.
And people have to read labels, right?
Yeah, for sure.
You have to read labels. Sodium, carbohydrates, energy, and grams
Sometimes
of fat.
they say no trans fat.
Yeah.
Great. But are they replacing with something else? Is it saltier? You just have to understand
Or is it more calories?
Yeah. I hear people drinking like 10 Diet Cokes a day, but is that really good for them? They say, hey, it's diet. Doesn't matter, there's no sugar in them.
Yeah.
But what makes it diet? Probably something else too, right? So you really have to understand everything in moderation. I think that's the key.
So the Canadian Diabetes Association is top-notch in their information and education for people, and people really have to know what's good for them. Diet, lifestyle, exercise, and stress management.
Yeah.
Do you have stress management counseling at CDA?
Not with ourselves, but probably with the Diabetes Education Clinic.
Okay.
Yeah, they do need, some of them might have a counselor if needed.
So what happens? You get stressed, and what happens to your blood sugar?
Probably something to do with the hormones. I'm not too sure.
Yeah, it goes up.
Yeah, probably adrenaline.
It does. Yeah, it
creates
causes
sugar. That's what somebody is explaining to me that how adrenaline creates more glucose level.
It's like cortisol, the stress hormone, that causes your blood pressure to go flying up.
Yeah, blood pressure for sure. Yeah,
absolutely.
Blood pressure.
So Tricia, thank you so much for joining us today.
You're welcome. Thank you for having us.
And for more information on the Canadian Diabetes Association, particularly York Region, you can
visit our website.
Visit the website. What is the website?
www.diabetes.ca.
Yes.
Or you can call our 1-800 number, 1-800-BANTING. Banting is the creator of
Dr. Banting, yes.
Yeah, Dr. Banting. So 1-800-BANTING or www.diabetes.ca.
Thank you, Tricia.
Thank you.
That's the Canadian Diabetes Association. Diabetes education, good idea for people out there to get information, prevent diabetes before it occurs because it is an epidemic. Now we'll move on to our next feature. Well, it's been a wonderful visit here today at the Healthy Living Expo at the Living Arts Centre, and it was very much a well-produced program. And with me is Andre Mack. How are you today?
Hi. Just great.
Andre's with the Mississauga Board of Chinese Professionals in Business, and I'll tell you, this has been a really top-notch facility and a wonderful show to hold this event today, the Healthy Living Expo. And Andre, tell us a little bit about the involvement of Mississauga CPB related to this function.
Well, basically, the CPB is made up with the professional and the business people.
Yes.
And about five years ago, our professional division is identified there's a need for healthcare and health prevention. So that's the reason we started our first Healthy Living Expo at the University of Toronto and Mississauga. At that time, we have about 2,000 people attending. It was fantastic, and since then, we never look back. Particularly starting last year, the good part is we have a co-organizer, the Mississauga News.
Yes.
They are co-organizing this whole event with us, and also we team up with one of the local hospitals. Last year we have the Trillium Health Center. This year we have the Credit Valley Hospital.
Yes.
And this year, our thing we talk about oncology or how to save a kidney, that type of thing. And plus, of course, every year we're growing bigger and bigger. Like this year we have about probably 50, 60 exhibit booths. We talk about bone density testing and all the various testing that is available. To us, it's very, very important because, like I say, even if any one of the people coming to the expo, so if they got a piece of information about healthcare, if one day it will save their life or their friends or relatives' life, to us, the effort to put into this expo is already worth it, and that's what this expo is about.
And this expo And this expo is really wonderful because it involves community education, awareness of it, prevention.
Right.
All aspects of health as it relates to the community and pre-hospital care.
Hospital care.
Yes. And how did this concept develop from the Mississauga CBB?
Well, what happened is that back again 5 years ago, our professional division, they are making up of professionals like doctors, physicians, and lawyers, and accountants, and all these people. The physician, the general physician, they identified that in this area, particular to meet the seniors' needs, there are really a lot of healthcare information can help them. And also too, this fits with the mandate of the provincial government. Like the provincial government was talking about, well, let's try not to put everybody in the hospital. But you know what, that's exactly what this is about. You get the piece of information, you learn yourself, you know how to prevent to get yourself into the hospital. I think that's what it's all about, right? I mean, for instance, the bone density test is critical. People do not know that apparently they're losing all this calcium in the bone. And you know what? That's right. And then you know what? If you do identify the symptom, you go to your doctor and say, "Wow, I seem to have wrong. Why don't you test me and then give me the the calcium pill or whatever that is?" You know what? That's what it is.
Well, you should be congratulated. It's been a great show, and thank you for the Healthy Living Expo. And it's great that the Mississauga CBB was a partner in putting this on. Thank you, Andre.
Thank you again, Randy. Take care.
Thank you. We'll see you next time on Randy's Wellness TV.